YouTube, what's going on? We're back at the computer setup right now. Unfortunately, today I got home, and if you remember in the past few videos, I'm like, dude, I think I'm gonna get sick. I'm definitely gonna get sick. Well, the effects have started to come in today. I've got a lot of congestion in my chest. I don't feel awful as far as like my throat feels okay. I have major congestion in my chest right now. And it feels like tight, like I can feel the congestion in there, and my hip flexors are super sore. And I don't think the hip flexors being super sore is necessarily related to being sick. It could be possibly related to like it feeling worse than it normally should. I rode my motorcycle a lot yesterday, and I rode with somebody on the back of it, so that had it was just a lot of like pressure on the hip flexors in the way I was doing things. And yesterday was a back day, and if you guys recall, I stopped the back day pretty short for me, but that's neither here nor there. Today was supposed to be legs, but it ended up not being legs because I got home and I was getting ready to go, or I was about to get ready to go to the gym, and I was just like, dude, I feel like crap. So I decided not to go to the gym today, and that's why this video is what it is. We're going to try and get through this video. No telling how I'm going to feel tomorrow. Don't worry, I've been pounding back the vitamins and the supplements like Airborne. And you know, Dayquil, and I'm gonna take some NyQuil tonight and some cough drops. And I have a little bit of a cough. Gotta keep clearing my throat. I have a little bit of a cough, but without further ado, let me get away from the excuses that I made that I didn't go to the gym today. But today's video is gonna be more of a obviously stationary desktop video. I'm just going to be judging some of the workouts that I found on Facebook today. I was scrolling through Facebook and I found these workouts. Now, I don't know if these are AI generated or if like they're computer generated or what. They're interesting, I can say that. I don't know if these graphics were put together by an actual human personal trainer, but these are just from the fitness pages. And I have it zoomed in right now because there's a watermark at the top and the bottom of it. It's like, this is the name, and then download it on the App Store. So I'm just going to judge these workouts based on what I know and what I go through and the information that I consume. So now, taking these at their face value, I will say, I will try and preface this and say, if these aren't complete workouts and these are just exercises that you can do for a muscle group, some of these are okay, but if these are complete workouts, like this is suggesting level 1 is 3 sets, level 2 is 4 sets, level 3 is 5 sets. What the freak? Okay. Let's go through this, okay? 2-minute rest between sets. That is okay. That's fine. You rest as long as you feel that you need to rest before you can hit a maximum set again, because it depends on how you train, right? Like you can do this amount of volume right here and still see progress. But also, you just got to make sure you're not doing a whole lot of junk volume. And junk volume is volume that is not heating results, you know? So, for example, if you are doing a weight that you can do for 20 reps, and you do those first 5 reps, feels like air, right? Because you got 15 more to go. You can do 15 more before you fail. What are those first 5 reps accomplishing? Right now, I'm not a scientist and I haven't done a study on this. I don't have a study to cite on this necessarily, but looking into it, what are those first 5 reps going to do? Like if you just stop the set after those first 5 reps, are you going to gain muscle? Are you going to lose muscle? Are you going to maintain muscle? I don't think you're working out the muscle in a beneficial way when you do something necessarily like that. But as long as you're taking it close to failure and you do the whole set, right? Like I said, 20 reps and then you hit failure. If you do the whole 20 reps, okay. I think that most people that nowadays like to train in the lower volume range where you're doing 1, 2, maybe 3 sets per exercise, and you're hitting somewhere between 5 and 8 reps for muscle growth and hypertrophy specifically. And I don't have to go that in depth with all of the workouts because they're all like this. They all just say 2-minute rest between sets, I believe. So this is a moderate glutes exercise. We have squat here. Squat's okay for the glutes depending on how you do it. Like if you do a close stance, you're probably going to hit more quads, especially if you're doing it on the Smith machine. I prefer not Smith machine, but a free bar is perfectly fine if that's what you prefer. Deadlift for the glutes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I see nothing wrong if these are lifts that you enjoy. You know what I'm saying? A deadlift is perfectly fine. A regular deadlift it's okay. There are better glute exercises that you can do. Like an RDL and a seated leg curl are great for hamstrings. Glutes, RDL, and then a hip bridge is also good for glutes as well. Deadlift is okay. I mean, I don't include it in a lot of my programs because I'm not really focused on the deadlift necessarily. Bulgarian split squat, I love that for the glutes. Again, it depends on how you do it. Like if you have a more knee over toe posture, it's going to be more quads. But if you focus on more of a knee behind toe posture, then you can really focus on the glutes. Leg press is okay. You can do it high and away. And I think people necessarily say that can target the glutes. Either way, most of these exercises are going to involve quads. A lot of these are going to involve some quads. Single leg pistol jump squat, my bad. Single leg pistol jump squat. In the terms of hypertrophy, not something I would include necessarily. But this may not be for hypertrophy purposes. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exercises. There's some redundancy here. We'll get to the overall in a little bit, but and then a hack squat. Hack squat is good for quads. If you place your legs a little bit higher, I suppose that you can focus more on the glutes as well. But none of these are great at isolating the glutes or putting the main focus on the glutes, because squat, leg press, and hack squat heavily involve the quads. And a deadlift can involve the quads as well, depending on what your stance is. Bulgarian split squat, you could do a pretty decent job at isolating the glutes, like I said, depending on stance. And as far as the single leg pistol jump squat goes, that might be good for knee health in younger people. I think it is going to be it's going to be tough for older people and special populations to sort of do this exercise, but if you want to include that in your training, you can. I just find that there's redundancy in this workout. You have your squat, and then you have a leg press, and you have a hack squat. That's 3 squatting patterns. I know a leg press isn't actually squatting, but it's the same pattern. So there is a bit of redundancy in these, especially depending on how you do it. I'm fine with having like a squat, like especially like a close stance squat on a Smith machine, and then a leg press, fine, or a squat and then a hack squat, or a leg press and a hack squat. If that's what you really want to do, that's fine. I typically don't do that in my workouts though. Love the Bulgarian split squat. Deadlift is okay. I would say that this is an overall leg day thing, because depending on if you change your foot stance on a lot of these, you can target different areas. I would take out the single leg pistol jump squat because that's probably just tough to do in general, and it's tough to overload. But like I said, whatever. So there is some redundancy in the workout. 6 exercises is okay, but it's supposed to be targeting moderate glutes. Some of the things I would change is I would include, I would take some of these out, the redundant ones. I'd probably have a leg press in there maybe, or you know what, I'll take out the squat, leg press, and hack squat, or I'll leave the squat in, maybe turn the deadlift into an RDL. And then I would also include like a hip bridge in there as well to target the glutes a little bit more. Moving on to the next one. This one we'll save for a little bit. Oops, I did not mean to zoom in further. Okay. So this is defined power. I'm not quite sure what that means. Oh yeah, going back to the last one, it had the level 1, level 2, level 3. If you're doing 5 sets for 6 exercises, damn. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be in the gym for a decent amount of time, especially with 2-minute rest periods, because let's see. 5 sets, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 rest periods. You're going to have 4 rest periods. And that is 8 minutes. So somewhere around 10 to 12 minutes to complete each exercise. And there's 6 of them. Not to mention that you have to set up each exercise. You're going to be in the gym for a minute. Either way. That's a lot of sets, me personally. So defined power, I'm not quite sure what this means, but let's just go over this as an exercise, as a workout in general. We have dumbbell lateral raise. I like that. This could be just, you know what? This could just be like a power workout. Not necessarily powerlifting, but a power workout, which is okay. The order of the exercise is interesting. I'd probably start with a deadlift, but whatever. Dumbbell lateral raise, deadlift, barbell row, chest fly, hammer curl, front raise. So I'm not really sure what the direction of this workout is supposed to be going after necessarily. It seems that you have a workout for pretty much everything in here except for triceps and rear delts. Rear delts could be hit in the barbell row, depends on how you do it. Other than that, though, you know, no abs, whatever. But it seems like this is an overall workout. You're not really, it looks like genuinely no tricep work, because sometimes you even get tricep work in the chest workout, but this is a chest fly, so you're not really doing a pressing movement, and you're not extending the elbows, which is what the triceps main formation is. You're just keeping the elbows at a fixed position while you're doing the flies. So no tricep workout in there. But I like a dumbbell lateral raise. A deadlift is perfectly fine if you're doing a power workout, I guess, minus the amount of sets. The sets, blanket statement, when you're doing that many sets, you know, that might be a lot of volume. But you know, higher volume is okay sometimes as well. You're going to grow muscle if you're doing this and you eat correctly and you sleep correctly, you're going to grow muscle. Barbell rows, those are an okay workout. I used to love them. I don't do them nearly at all anymore. I might do some here soon just to switch up the back workouts. But this one is okay because if you have an underhand grip and you row the elbows really low and you keep the bar really low, you can mainly target the lats. And if you open up the grip and put your hands over or pronated, this is what pronated is, means facing down, then you can target the upper back and the rear delts. And if you row high to the chest, chest fly is good. I would prefer a cable personally or a machine, but you know, if dumbbells is all you have, then that's all you have. Hammer curl is good for the biceps, and then a front raise. Yeah, front raise is fine because this chest fly right here is not going to be hitting a shite ton of front delts, but your rear delts aren't really getting targeted specifically, so there might be a little bit of imbalance there, so just be careful with that. Other than that, I don't know what direction this workout is heading, but it's pretty much just missing a tricep, ab, and calves. You know what I'm saying? Deadlift is... We'll just consider the muscle groups, you know what I'm saying? Like the muscle group legs, it's got legs in there, right? So the quads are going to be targeted, just not super effective. But on the next one, we'll save that one for last. Moderate forearm. This one, when I found it, I was a little perplexed. So forearm curl, good workout. That's a good workout. Forearm push-up is interesting, specifically because they have the color showing what muscles it is working. And it's showing the triceps being the worker in this, which is correct. That's correct. I mean, the triceps are the worker in this movement because they're the elbow extenders and they're extending the elbows. I mean, you probably might feel forearms in this at some point. But I don't foresee that as being a exercise you would want to do for the forearms. Now, a floor forearm stretch, you're not going to get a lot of growth from it. I mean, it might be good for stretching the forearms only, but I wouldn't consider it an exercise to do for growing the forearms necessarily. A dead hang, you're working your grip in that, so I could foresee that actually having some benefit to the forearms. Maybe you're not taking through a range of motion, you know. The forearm curl right here is okay, and here's where I'm talking about redundancy. You got a forearm curl right here, and then you have a kettlebell forearm curl, one or the other, or if you want to do both and you want to do one of them with the underhand like this, so you want to do one of them with that, where you're flexing and extending the wrists, then that's fine. But if you're doing extension and flexion of the wrist in both of those movements, and it's not one on one and one on the other, redundant. You know what I'm saying? So a little tough there. And then for another forearm stretch. So you're not going to get a lot of growth from that. However, the curls are the only ones that are actually taking them through a stretch and flexion portion of an exercise. So those are the ones that you're actually going to see benefit from. At dead hang, you could just be working on your grip when you do that in general. So I wouldn't knock it too much. But the forearm push-up, it's more of a tricep workout, and then the stretches are stretches. Again, wait for that one. And then a mastery back. This one's interesting. I like this one. This one has a lot, but a little redundant. So the cable row, okay. This is actually super redundant. So this cable row here, I'm going to go based off of what it shows. This is showing a wide grip. You're rowing from low to high is what it looks like, or just a low pattern coming up. And then you also have barbell rows, and then you have incline barbell rows. That's 3 rows that are hitting similar patterns, but I said we're going to go off the pictures here. So this picture of the barbell row, he's got an underhand grip, so he's going for mainly lats. Okay. And that's going to help with this bench supported row right here. If you're rowing to the hip, you're going to be hitting lats. Okay. So those two are redundant of each other. You could just do one of them and be okay. This cable row here and this incline barbell row, if you did one of them, you'd be okay. Because they're both wider grip. So you're going to be working similar muscles in those, or targeting. You know, you're not going to ever be able to isolate one specific muscle group in the back when you're doing something. So like whenever you're rowing, you're going to be hitting the lats, even if you're doing a high row, believe it or not. So either way, you're supposed to be targeting the upper back, and both of these, what it looks like based on the wide grip, you can just do one of those and be okay. And then you have weighted pull-ups and then pull-ups. This is why I say I think they're AI generated, because why do you have weighted pull-ups and then pull-ups? Unless it's a drop set, but they're not after each other sequentially. So it doesn't look like a drop set. Why do you have two different, you have two, they're both pull-ups. One of them is weighted, so it has a little bit more resistance for overloading, and one of them's regular. This one's also underhand, this one's overhand. So based on this underhand one right here, you're going to be targeting, I would say lats, depending on how you're doing it. If you bring the elbow to the hip, and then this one's wide grip, so you're targeting a different portion of the lats. So there's just some redundancy in this one that I'm not a huge fan of. I know I said I liked it, but like there's a lot to digress with this. Look, training the back is not super difficult to do. Low lats, high lats, and then rhomboids and traps, and then rear delts. Those are your workouts. Let me see. Okay. What is videos? Decently long. Okay. And then we have another defined power workout here. See, this one's downloaded on the App Store. So let's keep it right here. Okay. We have more defined power. Whatever this means. Oh, this is the same one that I already have. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I already had that one. Let me make sure that's those are the only ones that I have. So we have the moderate forearm, the mastery back, the defined power, 2 defined powers. Interesting. Yeah, okay. All right. I just doubled up on the defined power by accident. Okay. And then this one is the pec deck. This is not necessarily a workout that I'm going to go through and criticize. This is just some good information that I found on, this is like actual good information that I found on Facebook. There's no words or anything, so there's no way that like someone can just look at this and understand it. Especially if you don't know what you're looking at. And that's not saying that like, you know, general populace is dumb. I'm just saying like, if you're like looking at this and you don't exercise a lot and you don't like watch a lot of form correction, this could just look like, I don't know, especially if you're not aware of your own form when you're doing exercises. But this one on the left here is showing a correct version of a fly, and it's looking like it's on like a pec. I would assume on a pec deck machine where you're seated, your back is up against the pad, and you have the weight coming out here, and then you're coming in here. So a lot of mistakes, which is shown on the right, is that people do is that they shrug their shoulders when they're doing. They shrug their shoulders, and then they roll. They shrug the shoulders back as it's coming back, so they shrug the shoulders down, and then they come forward and they round forward, and they do this, boom, boom, and they're coming forward. You're taking from the chest, tension off of your chest when you do that, and you're putting it in your shoulders, which is not necessarily where you want to feel the pec deck machine when you're doing it for the chest purposes. In order to keep the chest involved throughout the entire exercise, you're going to want to do what the person on the left says. It's saying to keep the shoulders down and away from the head, low, right? And as you come forward, you're coming forward. You're not letting the shoulders roll forward, and you're not bending with the weight, which is what the guy on the right is showing. He's showing that you're coming forward and rolling the weight forward. you're rolling your shoulders forward, and then that's what puts it all on the shoulders here is when you're rolled forward like this. Whereas when you come up, and I've described this in other chest day videos that I have, keep the shoulders down and the chest pushed out, you're involving the chest all of the way, which is brilliant. I love that. But other than that, this video is longer than most exercise videos that I even put out, so that's interesting. It's not really interesting. It's because the exercise videos are like a minute to a minute 30 seconds per clip, and I only have like 10 clips because I only do like 10 working sets and exercise. You know what I'm saying? So like those videos aren't super long. But other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed my breakdown of some of these workouts, and I'm not necessarily saying that all of those workouts are bad. I'm not saying that don't ever do those workouts. If you did those workouts and you ate enough and you slept enough, you're probably going to gain muscle. You know what I'm saying? I just think that they're a bit redundant, and there's other things that you can focus your energy on. Now, 5 sets for 6 exercises with redundancy, not necessarily my favorite, but I'm not here to tell you what to do and what not to do unless you employ me as a coach. You know what I'm saying? At that point, if I am your coach, then I am going to advise you to not do something like that. But, I'm not. So take it with a grain of salt. Do what you want. Working out should be fun. And if there's exercises that you just want to include because they are fun and you're not going to injure yourself, albeit go for it. Other than that, I appreciate y'all for watching and hope to see y'all next time.